again, everybody. Lance Russell and Dave Brown right along ringside, all ready to go with another big day, championship wrestling. Dave, and we're about set and ready to go.
Oh, I tell you, we got a big day coming up today. Steve Regal will be here in the opening match. He'll be going against Bill Smithson. Then Robert Gibson goes against handsome Jimmy Valiant in a single match. And immediately after that, it'll be Rick Gibson going against Bub Smith. Jerry Ralph will be back. He will be going against the superstar, making his return to wrestling today. Bill Dundee will be here. And tag team match coming up, an expiration of time match with Rick Morton and Paul Ellering on one side of the ring. On the other, it'll be the King, Jerry Lawler, and his partner will be Jimmy Hart.
Ooh, hey, I kind of like that, as a matter of fact. I think in addition to all of the others, that's going to be some kind of tag match we'll be interested in seeing. It's all going to happen right here today on Championship Wrestling, so you stay right there. Call a friend. Tell them, get ready. The action begins right after we take time out for this.
A nuclear nightmare. An Ayatollah shows his stripes. A pontiff discovers America. Man's distant past. The Navy's future. Taxes, inflation, Cuba, the kingdom of oil, opera's golden voice, Hollywood's new faces. There isn't a subject under the sun or an issue on your mind that you won't find covered in the pages of Time. For Time is the news magazine that does the homework for your headwork. The very real stories of the news that's happening to you. And if you'll try Time now, we'll send you about half a year at half the single copy price. And this brand new 1980 Hammond Almanac free. The Almanac brings you a world of facts, and Time brings you a world of news every week. From Time's revealing cover stories and exclusive interviews to its movie, music, and book reviews, you cover it all. Sports, medicine, religion, science, business. You get it all in the lively writing and colorful pages of just one magazine. Information you won't find anywhere else. News you can talk about, think about, use. Time. It's the news magazine that invented the news magazine. And for more than half a century, it's been the magazine for people who care about knowing. You'll find Time useful, too, especially in the critical news year ahead. It will keep you up, tune you in, and take you everywhere. Time's cover price is $1.25, but you can subscribe now at our basic rate of only 59 cents an issue. That's 27 issues for $15.97, and we pay the postage. Just phone this toll-free number to order Time and to get your 1980 Almanac as a dividend. Time is yours for only 59 cents an issue, while the Almanac comes free with your paid subscription. Our operators are standing by. Phone toll-free 800-621-8200. That's 800-621-8200. Remember, Time is half the cover price. The phone call and the Almanac are free.
This will be a one-fall, 15-minute time limit match. Introducing on the left of your screen from Nashville, Tennessee, 229 pounds, Bill Smithson. Going against him from Indianapolis, Indiana, 224 pounds, Steve Regal. One fall, 15-minute time limit. Referee Paul Morton.
Okay, it didn't take us long to get this one underway. The old Golden Boy, Steve Regal, going against Bill Smithson today, Davey.
Smithson with a weight advantage, but not much. Only about 5 pounds. Steve Regal. Boy, he has really developed as a wrestler in the few short months that he's been around these parts. Down to the mat, Bill Smithson, covered by Regal. Count of 1 is all he can get. Smithson still got a lot of fight in him. Regal backed into the ropes. Referee Paul Morton right there. Calls for a break. Wants a clean one. Let's watch Smithson. Yeah, fires a right knee to the midsection. Steve Regal takes a wrist lock and rides Smithson down to the mat with it. Back on the ropes. Paul Morton is there again, calling for a break, and this time Smithson with some semblance of a clean break as he backs to the center of the ring. Regal again back onto the ropes by Smithson. Regal setting up on the hold and actually shoving him over to the ropes. Not a bad move by Smithson because that does get the hold broken. Regal drops him to the mat. Smithson bounced on his head. Body slam by Regal. 1. Count of 2 is all Steve can get. And the action continues in a 1-fall, 15-minute time limit match. We're 2 minutes into the action right now. Smithson again, driving Regal back to the turnbuckles. Well, he broke the last one clean, but not this one. Smithson comes out of it with a side headlock on Steve. Fist to the top of the head. Steve Regal in the side headlock. Knuckle again. This time Steve's had enough of it. He pops Smithson with a right hand and puts him in a side headlock. Regal puts Smithson on the mat. Shoulders down briefly. Referee started the count. Got to 1. Here's another 1 count. Smithson rolls Steve Regal over. He had to. There he goes again, trying to roll those shoulders up. He got a 2 count. And again, Steve Regal shoulders down briefly. Regal backed onto the ropes again by Bill Smithson. Smithson with the headlock on Regal. Takes him over to the ropes. Trying to hang on to the ropes. Regal trying to get him off his feet, and he does. Regal came up with a face lock on it. Couldn't maintain it. And Smithson, with a shoulder, drives Steve back into the turnbuckle. He shoved him back in there again after the referee had called for the break. Smithson shoulders down briefly, able to get the left one up, stop the count.
Steve's got a lot of pressure in that, what looks like a very simple hold, but it's a very effective one. The way he has the leg hooked and that shoulder pinned down with his knee.
Indeed. Steve's also in a position where he's got most of his body weight over his opponent's body.
Exactly.
That, you got to say, is a good move for Smithson. He pulled himself under the ropes, and again, that does get the hold broken. Well, the fans don't like to see it, but
yeah, a lot of times the fans really get irritated about that, but it's just good, smart wrestling. Go to that ropes, get that break.
I don't like to see it either sometimes, but it can be a good move, can be an effective move.
I guess Smithson thought that was a good move, pulling Regal's hair, as long as you can get away with it.
No, that's true. Back on the rope, Steve Regal. Bill Smithson fires him across the ring. Drops him over the back. Smithson in the air. Drops with the elbow. But Steve Regal saw him coming. Moved out of the way. Smithson using a right fist. Again, he's done it before. He did it once earlier in the match, and Regal had enough, and he popped him with a right hand. Regal rolls him down. 1, 2, 3. 5 minutes, 18 seconds. And Steve Regal comes away with a victory over Bill Smithson.
Yeah, it prevailed in there. The experience and the expertise of Regal came through over Bill Smithson as he converted that backdrop. Smithson thought he had him going in. It was a second backdrop on him, and he took it and rolled him right up into a crab pin position and got himself a 1. What was time on it?
All over 5 minutes, 18 seconds.
5 minutes, 18 seconds. We got more wrestling action coming up for you. We're going to be back to it in just one moment. All right, back to championship wrestling in Wave Country here coming up in just a moment. Do, in fact, I want to remind you, Tuesday night. What a night. We'll give you the whole card a little bit later on. Listen to 3 of the matches. Back Alley Street Brawl, handicap match. Jerry Jarrett going to be going in there against Jimmy Hart. Jarrett's feet will be tied. Southern heavyweight title match. Handsome Jimmy defends against Ken Lucas. World heavyweight title match. The superstar, Bill Dundee, challenges Jerry the King Lawler. All of it in the Gardens next Tuesday.
Let me talk for just a minute about this back alley street brawl. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, they go in there with their clothes
with their clothes on, and the match is not over until somebody's got all their clothes off. And Jerry Jarrett is going to have his feet tied together. And, man, do you know what this is going to be, the opportunity for Jimmy Hart of a lifetime? They've pulled this man's pants down. They've tried to embarrass him in public. Well, let me tell you something, Jerry Jarrett. This is going to be our chance to see what you look like naked, boy. We're going to see you right up there in Louisville with them feet tied together. He's going to be humiliated, Lance. And another person that's going to be humiliated is that little sawed-off runt Bill Dundee, who has been going around trying to tell everybody in Louisville that he is a world championship caliber wrestler. Well, I'm going to make you realize it, Dundee, that you are not, and everybody in Louisville's going to know it, because I'm going to beat you so bad you won't ever want to see me again, punk.
Well, that will take some beating, I'll tell you, for a living fact in there. Lawler and Dundee meeting at Hart and Jarrett with Jarrett's feet tied, and the Southern heavyweight champion, handsome Jimmy Valiant, going against Ken Lucas, and the title is going to be on the line in that battle.
Can you imagine #1 contender with the name Kenny Lucas? Kenny Lucas, that sounds like some medicine. Take Kenny Lucas. How about dog food? Feed your dog, Kenny Lucas. Woo! Let's see. Come and get it, boy. Come and get this heavyweight champion. Woo! Missy, you know my mama's living. She's going to come right to this place.
All the time we got, Jim. We'll see you Tuesday night, the Gardens. Okay, we got more action coming up, and speaking of action, I don't guess you could have had much more than when the Assassins and their coach and the Gibsons and Ken Lucas and all got together. We thought it was interesting to see that six-man tag. We're going to share it to you. It took place, share it with you. It took place in the Mid-South Coliseum in Memphis, Tennessee. Let's take a look at the action as it went. Ken firing a couple of right. Who had taken the tag, grabs him before he can get to the corner. Referee trying to get Rick to stay down on the floor, and now referee Jerry Calhoun having some bad words with Rick Gibson. Rick just trying to get to Ken Lucas, but he was up off the floor. Roberts being sent back down to the corner, and he's right back up on the first and second rope. There's a tag from the coach to the assassin #2, and Lucas is still caught between a rock and a hard place.
15 minutes past, 45 minutes to wrestle. 15 minutes past, 45 minutes to wrestle.
Lucas put the slam down and is caught from behind by assassin #1. Ken's leg caught. He's almost got a tag on Robert. But the coach comes in and turns him over. Lucas slammed into the turnbuckle. And Kenny is intercepted again. Who had him booked with his legs. The assassin getting a 1 count twice, but he is also giving Ken a chance to rest a little. Ken badly in need of it. Fires a right hand. The referee says, come on, keep him open. Keep him open. All he wants to do is get free. He does. Shoulder.
Bad move on Ken's part. He needs to get to that corner. And he went for one more shoulder block. He's caught by the coach. There's a tag on Robert. Robert whips it. Misses a drop kick. Ball could be 1, 2. No. Robert was able to kick out of it. All 6 in the rain out. Rick. Robert over the top. 2, 3. Got him. Minutes and 10 seconds. The mask against the hair, so the mask of the coach will be coming off. Rick and Robert going right after it. Robert with the mask held high. And the Assassin's coach unmasked. Here he comes, and the Assassin grabs another mask and puts it over it. Rick grabs it, Robert grabs it and pulls it off.
Okay, that was it, boy. That was a wild and Troy Graham, by the way, was the coach who was unmasked in there, and Rick Gibson wasn't to be denied. Boy, he got one mask off and he pulled it off right after it. They were really after it. That was some kind of a bout. Indeed, thought you might get a kick out of that. Tell you something I got a kick out of was talking to Billy Robinson in Minneapolis during the past week, and have been keeping up in touch with Billy. Billy, of course, I think many of you got to know him on a brief basis in here from Manchester, England, a super wrestler, and just a guy who unfortunately met the wrath of the Assassins, and they started working on an arm, ended up with a fracture in the lower part. But Billy said he's just getting along in dynamite shape, and we asked him to send us down a report on how he's doing. Let's hear from Billy Robinson right now. Billy.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to kind of show you I'm getting on the right track again. My arm is a lot better, and its strength is coming, and I'll be back soon. You know, a few weeks ago, I'd have thought that when the cast came off, that I would be back wrestling within a couple of days and get back and letting me feel that with the technique I've got and the knowledge I've got, that I could manage anything that comes in front of me. But I've got a task that is a little bit more important than that. To me, to my supporters, to my mind. It's a task that I've decided. I've got a goal. I've decided that when I come back, I'll be better than I've ever been, mentally and physically. And there'll be no excuses whatsoever. When I come back, I'm coming back to win.
Well, he's done more of that than he has lose, I'll guarantee you for a fact. And I think the Assassins are going to find out that that's a determined Englishman right there. Billy Robinson, good to hear from Billy. We'll keep you posted on his progress, and they're glad to see he's out of it. Hey, we've got more wrestling action coming up. Handsome Jimmy right around the corner. We'll be back to it.
Your nearest Captain D's just came up with the best reason to chicken out. It's the Captain's Monday and Tuesday Super Value Chicken Dinner. You get a generous portion of golden fried chicken fillets, crisp French fries, fresh creamy coleslaw, 2 Southern-style hush puppies, and the Captain's own sweet and sour sauce. And all at a special price of only $2.59. The Monday and Tuesday Super Value Chicken Dinner, only at Captain D's.
Captain D's, a great little seafood place.
No little cinnamon gum freshens breath longer than Big Red.
So kiss a little longer, hug a little longer, state your case a little longer, longer with Big Red. That Big Red freshness lasts last right through it. Your fresh breath goes on and on while you chew it. Say goodbye a little longer, make it last a little longer. Give your breath long-lasting freshness with Big Breath.
Bow hunting is an exacting sport requiring intense concentration, skill, and patience.
Larry, have we got compound bows for $59?
The advent of the compound bow has added new excitement to the lives of thousands.
Hey, Larry, do we have over 600 archery accessories for archers?
Yeah, what's the matter with you?
Discover the growing sport of archery. Praise Archery, 2126 Cooper's Lane, right off Highway 31, Jeffersonville, Indiana.
And don't get that back out there and bother me again!
Could you write a TV commercial about Tide?
I think I could. It really does the job.
My daughter Suzanne's fourth grade class is having a tug of war. Suzanne and her friend Tara are on the white team. Look at that ground in mud. Now look at the white team's white shorts. But I'm going to wash Suzanne's shorts in Tide. Tara's I'll wash in the powder I used to use. Now here's why I switched to Tide. Tara's shorts still show some mud. Suzanne's are clean and white. I really believe in Tide.
Women trust Tide. It's the best detergent on American soil.
We are just about ready with a one-fall 15-minute time limit match. Handsome Jimmy Valiant, not up on the ring apron yet or in the ring. Down on the floor. If and when he decides he wants to climb into the ring, then we will be ready with the official introduction for the match. Well, Handsome Jimmy climbs into the ring for this match. One fall, 15-minute time limit match from New York City, 239 pounds, Handsome Jimmy Valiant. And going against him in this match from Pensacola, Florida, 226 pounds, Robert Gibson. One fall, 15-minute time limit match. It's a non-title match, even though Handsome Jimmy's got the Southern Heavyweight Championship belt around his waist.
Jimmy Hart is now not unbraiding, but Handsome Jimmy has some kind of a leather affair that he ties his. I'm sure there's a name, which I don't know right offhand. I'm not going to lose any sleep over. But it is now off, everything but the belt. Jimmy doesn't want to get that off his waist. You know, Dave, I really think that Handsome Jimmy I always thought was just way out. But I'm not so sure there's not a little smarts. I think a lot of guys let that routine of Handsome Jimmy's lull them into thinking, and all of a sudden, boy, he hurts you, and hurts you bad. I don't think Robert Gibson will do that. The youngster from Pensacola back in there and ready. He had trouble with a pulled hamstring muscle, but he seems to be back and moving in real good shape. Okay, bell time, and here we go. Second out, Handsome Jimmy, Robert Gibson.
I saw that move, yeah.
Every move's a picture.
Every move a picture.
Oh, that's Handsome Jimmy. He doesn't need us here. He does his running commentary on his own match in there. He'll keep you up to date with it. Gibson, taking his time. He's not being bagged and rushing in right away. Jimmy's side headlock. He is thrown off, but holds onto the rope. Gibson carefully waiting. Jimmy Hart in the corner over there, using his brand of cheerleading for the Southern Heavyweight Champion, Handsome Jimmy Valiant.
Jimmy Hart pointing out to the crowd time after time that Handsome Jimmy does have the belt.
Robert Gibson sends Handsome Jimmy over to the ropes. Jimmy looked like he was going through, but Gibson was right in behind him. See that fist, Jimmy? We got a good eye on it. You keep looking and it'll catch you right in the eye, too. Referee Jerry Calhoun telling Jimmy Hart at ringside he can handle the refereeing. Top wrist lock. Yeah, you got him, Jim. Reversal by Gibson. Over to the ropes. Nice clean break by Robert. going into the hair routine.
Yeah.
Pulling my hair, pulling my hair.
Told Jerry Calhoun, he said, warn him, warn him.
Round behind in a waist lock, Jimmy Valiant on Gibson. Gibson going for a get out in there. Now reverses it. Goes behind Valiant, but over to the ropes. And that'll call for another break. Jimmy has used the ropes well in the early going. It's a one fall, 15-minute time limit match. In case you just joined us, Championship Wrestling with Robert Gibson facing you and a handsome Jimmy Valiant, Southern Heavyweight Champion, with his back to you. Jimmy with the arm over and around. Gibson reverses it again.
We just passed 3 minutes.
And at the 3-minute mark, Gibson takes that wrist straight up, back toward the arm. Puts Jimmy down on a knee. Changes it into an arm bar right at the shoulder. Nice tight lock he's got on him. Jimmy constantly running that mouth. And he fires Gibson in, catches him with a knee to the midsection. Once again, Gibson in. Backdrop. Oh, boy. He really dumped Robert hard. Gibson snapped into the turnbuckles. Handsome goes right in behind him, and again, well, he's fired to the turnbuckle. Third time, a reversal by Gibson, and he slams Handsome Jimmy in, drops with the upper part of the arm. A whip, drops him. Beautiful, beautiful, really nice. One, up. Referee warns Gibson about using the fist. Shoulder. Ah, the cheerleader while the referee is over checking to see Jimmy if he's got any of those funny things in his hand. Hart tripped him up. There's a cover. 1, 2, 3. Here comes Rick Gibson. He's going after Hart. That's who he's looking for. And while he's there, he takes a run at. And now he's telling referee Jerry Calhoun exactly what we saw here. Everybody in our audience verifying it. Handsome Jimmy.
Handsome Jimmy is too cool to be true. I mean, a champagne is too cool to be true. If Big Brother had to come to his little brother rescue, do you understand? Big Brother, do you want some of the champagne? Big Brother, do you want some of Handsome Jimmy? Get your laundry out, baby. Get your laundry out, brother.
Okay. Now, everybody here saw it. Rick Gibson peeling off his jacket. Jimmy is the one who said, "Do you want some of the champion?" And Rick Gibson didn't take him long. Bat an eye, and the jacket was off and said, "Climb through the ring." That's not to. And in an unofficial, unscheduled fight, Rick Gibson is showing what Big Brother can do. Jimmy's the one that used the term. Here comes Hart. Hart's down. The Gibsons firing together on Hart and Handsome Jimmy. And they are out of the ring. And out of the wrestling area they go, as the Gibsons don't get anything in the record books out of it, but they get an awful lot of personal satisfaction.
Which counts for a lot sometimes.
Yeah,
in a
you
case
better
like
believe
that.
it.
The official time on the Rick Gibson Jimmy Valiant match was 4 minutes 48 seconds. 4:40. I'm sorry, on the Robert Gibson Jimmy Valiant match.
Yeah,
4:48.
I want to quickly point out our use of the word Big Brother in there was simply a follow-up and a mimic of what Jimmy was saying in there, because Robert Gibson is a man unto his own. He doesn't need Rick to stand behind him or anything else, but it's always nice to have somebody you know you can count on. And one of those situations where, unfortunately, the referee doesn't have the advantage that we have of sitting back and away from the action. He's right in the middle of it. And Handsome Jimmy, of course, has been prone in the past to pull things out of those tights, you know, like a 50-pound piece of scrap metal or something. And the referee is over there. Jimmy Hart, quick as a flash, he was out of the chair, had his hand around and hooked the leg of Robert Gibson, and Jimmy took advantage of it and got a 3 count on the situation. So the official win is going to go to Jimmy Valiant, but he shouldn't have any satisfaction out of that. We're about ready to go with the second. We're not going to break away, so please don't leave us. We're going to stay right here and go with the second match in here. Rick Gibson is scheduled to get him back in. Referee Paul Morton is in. Bub Smith is in there. And we're going to follow up with more. Here comes Rick. I don't know, Bub may be worse off that Rick got his dander up in there. Let's have the official.
You're right. All right, from Jackson, Tennessee, 260 pounds on the left of your screen, Bub Smith. Going against him from Pensacola, Florida, at 228 pounds, Rick Gibson. This match will be 1 fall, 15-minute time limit. Referee Paul Morton.
Right, we're off and running. Rick Gibson around behind waistline. Look at him take that big 260-pounder down.
Rick keeping Bub Smith tied up. Bub trying to get back on his feet. Rick Gibson keeping him off his feet. Bub finally makes it over to the rope. Rick Gibson backs away. Bub on his feet. I don't know.
Look at there. Whoa.
He no more than got on his feet till he was headed for the referee complaining. Rick Gibson has him off his feet again on the mat. Bub Smith. Good move by Bub. He stopped Rick, but not for long. Oh, and Rick Gibson body slams, 260 pounds.
Boy, has he got that adrenaline flying today, Rick Gibson. Really?
I think it's kind of like you mentioned, maybe the little altercation at the end of last match kind of got Rick's dander up just a little bit. He has been in control all the way so far, and we're 1 minute 5 seconds into the action. Suplex.
Going for a suplex, but hard to get that 260 over the top.
Yeah, Rick
fell right on Rick.
Rick took a beating with that one, too. Drop kick to the face. Ooh.
Standing. I mean, no run, no nothing, just bang. Look at here.
There's a body slam by Rick Gibson. Cover 2. It's all over. All over in 1 minute 39. And it was Rick Gibson all the way. Rick had to be favored coming into the match anyway, but boy, he just took control immediately and kept it.
Totally dominant in there, flawless as a matter of fact, except for the one suplex where he had taken him up in body slams. He had done the whole load with him, and it was unbelievable. He was just able to jerk and snatch him around. Twice he went behind him, waist-locked him, and just jerked him straight up off his feet and dumped him down on the canvas, all of that weight. And Rick Gibson, most impressive in that. What a dandy of a bout for Gibson in there. Comes up the winner in 1 minute and 39 seconds. Hey, we got more action. Don't you dare go away. We're going to be back with Championship Wrestling in a moment. Yes, action still to come on Championship Wrestling right here on Channel 3. Hey, you folks in Madisonville, reminder, Saturday, February the 2nd. The action will be hot and heavy right there. Tuesday night, Louisville Gardens. Let me give you the entire card. Just mentioned some of the great matches up there a moment ago. Here it all is Steve Regal takes on Sugar Bear Harris. Sonny King will be going against Slim the Hillbilly. Then it's going to be a mask against the Gibsons leaving town. No time, no disqualification when the Medics take on Rick and Robert Gibson. A Southern Tag Team title match will be in there with the belts held up. This one will be no time, no disqualification. The Assassins against Paul Ellering and Rick Morton. Then a back alley street brawl, handicap match. Start out in the close, tear them off. That's what happens. Jerry Jarrett with his feet tied, the only way Hart would agree to the match, going against Jimmy Hart. And then Valiant against Lucas in a Southern heavyweight title match. And Dundee challenging Lawler for the world heavyweight crown. Tuesday, be there.
They took their name from the divine typhoon that saved Japan from the Mongol invasion. In battle, they carried family swords of great antiquity. They wore the traditional hachimaki headband to symbolize samurai courage. Most of them were little more than boys who wanted to die like men. They were the kamikaze. You'll meet them along with the Americans who met their challenge when you find this announcement from Time Life Books. It's in your Sunday paper, and it invites you to sample the epic series that brings you face to face with men at war. This reply card brings you Volume 1 of World War II for free examination. And see this print collection of authentic fighter planes? We'll send it to you as a gift if you find the kamikaze's plane on your card and cross it out. Like this. The kamikaze and the Americans who stopped them come alive in your Sunday paper, Reader's Digest, and these publications.
Up that wrestling fans been looking forward to for weeks and weeks. We're marking the turn to wrestling action of the superstar in the ring right now. His opponent now making his way to the ring. This is going to be a one-fall, 15-minute time limit match from Nashville, Tennessee at 263 pounds, Jerry Ralph. And going against him from Australia, 214 pounds, the superstar, Bill Dundee. One fall, 15-minute time limit match. Referee, Jerry Calhoun.
Okay, we're about ready to do it as Bill is tripping out of it. Jerry Ralph, a newcomer. He's one of the new breed. He's big and heavy, boy. A lot of weight on him in there, and he's going to find out, as I think Bub Smith found with Rick Gibson, that when you can get that leverage point and you know how to move it around, you can make that weight be a disadvantage. Bell time, Dave. Here we go.
Dundee against Ralph. Ralph tries a leg dive. Bill Dundee did not let it work for him. He just moved back a little bit. Back on the ropes, referee Jerry Calhoun there. Gets a clean break. Jerry Ralph backed away. The superstar drops Ralph down to the mat. Onto the ropes, referee Jerry Calhoun right there. Wants a break, gets one. Dundee up on his feet. Ralph forces Dundee back to the rope. Knee to the midsection as a break called for. Dundee round behind, and he picks Jerry Ralph up, drops him to the mat. Shoulders down, 1, 2, 3, got him. Bill Dundee got the 3 count, and there's no question about it. In spite of Jerry Ralph's protest, Dundee has just defeated Jerry Ralph in 1 minute, 23 seconds, and Billy holds the ropes and says, step right out of the ring. Boy, 1 minute, 23 seconds, the win to the superstar.
Well, I tell you, Dave, it's an interesting thing when you see somebody like, congratulations, Billy.
Hey, how you doing?
Delighted to see you back. Hey, we're gonna slip a tape in here, Billy, can we? And if you can stick around, we'd like to show you some action that I think you're pretty interested and familiar with. Let's take a look at it right now. Picks Morton up with him. Bangs handsome Jimmy. Dundee telling him to quit hitting him with that closed fist. Rick body slam. Jimmy Hart comes in. He goes to pick Morton up. He counts 1, 2, 3. Dundee does. Lawler trying to explain that Hart's foot was over the rope. Dundee didn't see it. The victory in 4:56 and the third fall is going to go to Morton, Regal, and Red. Lawler jumping Dundee. Lawler flailing away. Here comes Regal. Nails Hart. Dundee fires a foot. He grabs that elbow pad of Lawler's. Now the reverse is true. Dundee stripping his shirt off. He's ready for it. He says, here's your elbow pad. Handsome Jimmy and Jimmy Hart trying to hold Lawler back. Dundee says, come get it if you're man enough. Dundee just getting over 11 weeks of hepatitis. Hasn't been back wrestling, but he's been working out, and he looks in great shape. Crowd waiting to see whether Lawler's going to go get it or not. Handsome Jimmy. Down to talk to Dundee. You better watch him. Dundee swings the belt, straps Lawler as he went for that elbow pad. Lawler grabs the belt. Now he starts beating Dundee. Boy, they are trading some licks, and now Dundee has the belt. Lawler picked up a rope standard. That was an exciting doggone thing. It put Bill Dundee in an entirely different perspective because he was in there as a referee in the match. He had a lot of problems, and indeed, when you get Valiant, Lawler, and Hart all together in there against Morton, Regal, and Big Red. But Billy, as usual, was ready for any situation, regardless of what happened. That was one at the Mid-South Coliseum in Memphis, Tennessee. We've got more wrestling action coming up. We're going to get back to it in just a moment.
We think you're really going to enjoy this commercial because we're going to play you some of the best easy rock ever recorded. It's off of our new 2-record set called Magic Moments. All the original hits played by all the original artists. But even more important, these are songs you know you love. So just sit back and enjoy the music.
Don't it make my brown eyes, don't it make
Thanks for listening. You know, you can't get magic moments in any store, so order yours now.
To order, call toll-free 1-800-453-9000. Save all COD and handling charges. Send $8.98 for records, $9.98 for 8-track or cassette to Magic Moments, Box 235, Louisville, Kentucky 40201. Magic Moments, Box 235, Louisville, or call toll-free 1-800-453-9000. Remember, this offer is not available in stores.
I just got word from Mr. Coffey that Paul Ellering is not back. He was here earlier in there, and I think he had an equipment problem. Either somebody lifted his shoes or something like that, and Paul is not back. It was originally scheduled to be a tag match, but we're going to be unable to have the tag. It'll be a single match, if you'll introduce it.
All right, introducing from Nashville, Tennessee, at 193 pounds, Rick Morton. And going against him from Memphis, Tennessee, 228 pounds, the King, Jerry Lawler. This match to the expiration of time, referee Paul Morton.
Bell time. If we can get Hart off the edge of the ring in there, we might be in good shape to go. And he finally hops down with the World Heavyweight belt in this non-title bout. And Rick Morton goes after him. Went for a single leg dive, Dave, but he wasn't quite close enough to get him.
Lawler against Morton. Jimmy Hart in Lawler's corner. Rick Morton, cautious, considered a leg dive there, but didn't go for it. Back in the corner, referee is there, wants a break. Lawler starts with a hair-pulling complaint. I think we mentioned that Handsome Jimmy was doing the same thing in his match. Lawler, not only does he hold the CWA World Heavyweight Championship belt, he also holds the World Championship complaining belt, if there was such a thing. Watch him, yeah. Over to the referee, so I suppose you didn't see him pull my hair. Nope. Didn't see any hair pulling at all, Jerry. I just saw a takedown by Rick Morton. This is a Lawler tactic. We've mentioned it before. Now there was some hair pulling, but it wasn't Rick Morton that pulled hair. It was Lawler that yanked his hair and pulled him down to the mat. He didn't do it.
Well, you see everything I do, but you don't see nothing I do.
And Lawler. Complaint. Jimmy Hart was standing up out of the chair, and the referee counted him sit down. He's started to say Lawler uses this complaint tactic effectively because he gets the referee eventually, maybe subconsciously, watching a little more closely than he otherwise would, and that lets Lawler use some of his other tactics from time to time. We're 3 minutes, the end of the match. This one goes to the expiration of time. Whoever has the most falls when the time runs out will be the winner of the match. Leg drop by Lawler. Converts that over to a step over toe hold. Oh, snaps that leg. Crowd cheering Rick Morton on. Jimmy Hart was trying to calm him down. He said, wait a minute. He said, y'all kind of hold it down a little bit. Lawler drops on the leg again. Rick Morton not in a good position right there. Morton grabs Lawler, trying to pull him down to the mat. Oh, I see Lawler is grinding a knuckle right into the side of the knee. Rick Morton trying to get back on his feet, and Lawler smashed the side of that knee again. His boot, right fist. Rick coming back 5 minutes into the action right now. Forearm by Lawler. Maybe with the armband too. Hart working on the knee. Referee Paul Morton is warning Lawler about using the fist.
Look at Lawler turn the whole thing around. He's the one that took the referee away and distracted him. Now he's telling him that Morton was kicking at Jimmy Hart. Side suplex. Huh.
Boy, Rick Morton has really taken a beating here. Lawler working on the knee first. The side suplex, the count of 1. Shoulders up at the 2 count. Lawler thought he had himself pinned right there. But it was not to be, as Rick Morton is still alive.
Ooh. Double leg dive, beauty.
Morton using a fist himself. He finally had enough of getting knuckled by Lawler. Rick on his feet. Works a neck breaker, a cover, 1, 2 count, and Lawler is able to break it at that point. Thought maybe Rick was going to have an upset here over the King. Side headlock. Rick still favoring that left knee. Lawler really worked on it hard. Look, oh, move it right down.
Give the devil his due. Nice conversion by Lawler.
It was. Boy, that knee can't be in good shape at all. It's been hit from the side, from the top. Lawler's been grinding a knuckle in it. We're at 7 minutes right now. 7 minutes of the first fall. Rick Morton hanging in there. He's not giving it up.
Crowd hollering, "We want Bill." Yeah. Referring obviously to the superstar. I think this young fella in the ring's doing a whale of a good job myself. Rick Morton.
Indeed. Boy, a lot of people would have given this one up on submission long before now, but Rick Morton hanging in there. He whips Lawler into the ropes. Over the shoulder, down to the mat, a cover. 2, and a 2 count is all he gets. Rick yanks him right back. A 1 count. Hart up on the apron. Gives him a drop kick to put him on the floor. Dives at Lawler. Hart steps back up onto the apron. Oh, Rick missed the drop kick. Lawler seizes the opportunity, drops with the elbow. And the 3 count, it's it. 8 minutes, 20 seconds, 8:20, the win for Lawler in the first fall.
What a whale of a bout that was in that match, that first fall of that. We're going to check our time, and we're going to be back with more wrestling action for you in just a moment. told you about the incredible card that's going to be hosted by the Gardens next Tuesday night. One of the matches is a back alley street brawl, Jerry Jarrett against Jimmy Hart. Jerry, your feet are going to be tied in that match.
Yeah, they sure are, Lance. Buddy Fuller is a pretty fine matchmaker, in my opinion, because I couldn't imagine it when he came to me and he said Hart had proposed this match. Now, I don't consider it a handicap to have my feet or my hands tied when you're wrestling Jimmy Hart, because he's not a wrestler. All I can say is I'm looking forward to the match.
You watch your back, too, because Lawler won't be far from ringside. Another bout that is going to be there is that Southern Heavyweight title match when the champion, Handsome Jimmy, goes against this rugged guy, Ken Lucas.
Lance, I've got a lot of respect for Jimmy Valiant. He is a Southern Heavyweight champion, but I also that he has respect for me. I'm going in that ring to do one thing, Mr. Valiant, and that's come to get your belt, my friend. I play no funny head games. I'm coming right in there to get that belt. And let me say one thing, Jimmy. I've watched your style. You're a very, very tough man. That's the reason you are champion. But champions do lose their belt inside that ring, and I'm coming to get you.
Yeah, there he is, right straight ahead, Ken Lucas, telling him what he's going after. And Bill, I don't have to say too much about Jerry Lawler and Bill Dundee, but this time the World Heavyweight title on.
That's right, Lance. I heard you say something about Jerry watch his back. Well, he doesn't have to do that. I'm going to do that. Lawler's not going to run in the ring because the man has his feet tied to help his little stooge Jimmy Hart. I'll be watching that. So we all know who's going to win the handicap match, right? Now, what can you say about Jerry Lawler? It's all been said a million times before. The guy, if he wasn't as tough, he can wrestle when he wants to wrestle, and he can fight. He'll prove that to you every time you get in the ring. The guy that he beat for the belt was no slouch, superstar Billy Graham, right?
Got it.
But let me tell you something, Jerry Lawler. I drove up and down the road with you for 2 years, brother. I was your tag team partner, and we would talk strategies of the match. We would do this. You would tell me an awful lot of your secrets, Jerry Lawler. I got stored in this little, you call it a pea brain, but it's got your number, brother. So when you walk out of that ring, I'm going to be the new champion. Jimmy Hart, I'll wipe all your tears up, brother, because I want that strap. I got to prove it, Lawler, that I'm a better man than you are.
Tuesday night. And that means, of course, Lawler's going to be the official winner in that last match. But lose it or not, I still thought Rick Morton did a whale of a job against the World Heavyweight champ. And they're great. You better believe it.
Battle.
How about the rest of
Steve Regal defeated Bill Smithson in the opening match today. It was Handsome Jimmy Valiant over Robert Gibson. Rick Gibson, though, came back and defeated Bub Smith. It was Bill Dundee over Jerry Ralph, and Jerry Lawler does win the expiration of time match by winning the first fall over Rick Morton.
Well, I'll tell you, for a lead pipe fact, too, we had Regal, who looked very, very good in there. Rick Gibson, who was just superlative in his
in
moves
control.
on Big Bub Smith. Just excellent wrestling action on Championship Wrestling today. And by golly, I'll tell you what, that's not the end of it. Next week, we'll be right back again. You be certain to be with us here when we'll bring you some more of the roughest, toughest wrestling action that you will find around anywhere on Championship Wrestling. Be sure and bring a friend, too, and we'll look forward to seeing you again next week. For Dave Brown, this is Lance Russell. And for this particular week, we'll bid you bye-bye on Championship Wrestling.
The announcers on this program are selected and paid by parties other than this station, namely the Jarrett Welch Wrestling Company.